Have you ever had a dream that was so big, it felt impossible? You look at where you want to go, and it feels miles away. You imagine all the steps, all the work, all the time it will take, and suddenly you feel stuck. You tell yourself, I know I could do it, I have the potential, but still, you don't move. You wait and plan because the mountain in front of you feels too high and the path feels too long. So you end up doing nothing. You scroll through videos of successful people. You feel inspired for a moment, then overwhelmed the next. You're not lazy, you're not lost. You're just paralyzed by the pressure of the future. You see the final destination so clearly, the book you want to publish, the language you want to master, the version of yourself you dream of becoming. But because the dream feels so far away, today feels too small. You think, what's the point of writing just 200 words? What's the point of practicing English for 10 minutes? It's not enough. It won't get me there. But here's the truth. It's not about doing it all. It's about doing something. Not everything, just the next thing. You don't need to see the whole staircase. You just need to take the next step. Because action doesn't come from feeling ready. Action comes from moving, even when you're not. Even when the dream feels far, even when doubt is loud, the first step still counts. And that step, it's not about reaching the end. It's about proving to yourself that you can begin. Every big journey starts with something small. Every great success is built from tiny choices repeated every day. So if you're tired of being stuck, if you're tired of waiting for the perfect moment, let's start here. Let's start now. Let's take one small step today, because that's how dreams are built. Not in one leap, but in 1,000 quiet steps forward. Why do we get stuck when we want something so badly? It's not because we don't care. It's not because we're lazy. It's because the dream looks too big and we don't know where to begin. We see the mountain, but we can't see the first stone. When your mind focuses too much on the final result, like the book, the perfect English, the ideal version of you, the gap between here and there feels too wide to cross. And when that distance feels too far, your brain says, don't bother. You're not ready yet. This mindset creates two common traps. The first is delay. You tell yourself, I'll start when I have more time, when I feel more confident, when I've figured it all out. But the perfect time never comes. So you wait and nothing changes. The second is perfectionism. You want every step to be perfect, every sentence flawless, every plan complete before you even begin. But that kind of pressure makes starting feel impossible. So you stay frozen, not because you're weak, but because the dream has become too heavy to carry. This is what I call living in the distance. You're so focused on 10 years from now that you forget to live today. You forget that all progress begins in the present. That every journey, no matter how big, is made of small steps. Here's the mindset shift that changes everything. You don't need to see the finish line. You only need to see the next 100 feet in front of you. Think about driving at night. You don't see the entire road. You see just enough to keep going, and that's enough. Life works the same way. You don't need the whole plan. You just need the next action. A single choice, a small step. Because when you focus on what you can do today, writing 200 words, practicing for 10 minutes, making one small effort, you will stop fearing the distance. You will stop judging your progress by how far you are from the end, and start building momentum one step at a time. This is the truth. Tiny actions done consistently lead to unstoppable change. You don't need to be perfect. You don't need to be fast. You just need to be moving forward. When you live by this mindset, you no longer need motivation to strike like lightning. You don't need to feel ready. You just need to take the next step that's already in front of you. So instead of saying, the goal is too big, say, what can I do today that moves me 1% closer? That shift in thinking changes everything. Just write today's sentence. Just say one line. Just take one step. Because once you start moving, the fear starts fading. The path starts forming. And the dream starts becoming real, one small step at a time. Let me tell you a story about Helen. Helen had always dreamed of writing a novel. For years, the story lived in her mind. All the characters, the world, the plot twists. It was all there, like a movie playing quietly in the back of her head. Every time she walked to work, every time she waited in line, scenes would unfold in her imagination. She could hear the dialogue. She could feel the emotions. She knew the story inside out. But there was one problem. She never started. Not because she didn't want to, not because she didn't know what to write, but because every time she sat down to begin, her mind became overwhelmed. She thought about the cover design, the publishing process, the endless revisions, the marketing, the emails, the book launch, the social media strategy. And just like that, her excitement turned into pressure. Her passion became anxiety. She'd open a blank document and close it 5 minutes later. I need to learn more first, she told herself. I'll start when I understand the publishing world better. I should wait until I have more time. Months passed, then years, and still the story stayed in her head, unwritten, unshared, unfinished. One day, Helen met an old friend for coffee. They hadn't seen each other in a long time. Her friend asked, "So, how's the novel?" Helen laughed nervously. "Still in my head." Her friend smiled gently and said, "You know, you don't need to write the whole book today. Just write one page, even just one paragraph." Something about that sentence stayed with her. That night, Helen couldn't sleep. She thought about all the years she had spent waiting, all the nights she had imagined her characters speaking, but never gave them a voice on paper. And she realized something important. She was trying to write a perfect book. She was trying to do it all at once. And because of that, she was doing nothing at all. The next morning, she made a different decision. She opened her laptop. She didn't worry about the ending. She didn't care about the cover or the marketing or how it would be received. She simply wrote 200 words. That's it. Just one scene. Just one step. The next day, she did it again, then again and again. Some days, the words came easily. Other days, she struggled, but she showed up anyway. She told herself, I don't need to be perfect. I just need to move. She focused only on the part of the road she could see. The next paragraph, the next idea, the next page. Weeks passed. Her draft started to grow. Chapter by chapter, her story came to life. Character by character, the world she had carried inside her became real. When she finished her first draft, she cried, not because it was perfect, but because she finally did it. She finally began, and that beginning changed everything. Helen spent the next few months editing her draft. She asked a friend to read it. She took feedback. She made changes. Still, she didn't let fear take over. She reminded herself, progress, not perfection. When it was ready, she researched simple self-publishing options. She didn't try to go viral. She didn't need a fancy launch. She just wanted the book out in the world. So she chose a basic platform, picked a clean, simple cover template, and hit publish. No big announcement, no marketing plan. Just a quiet moment of courage, and then something beautiful happened. Her first reader sent her a message. "I finished your book in one day. It made me cry. Thank you for writing this." Helen read that sentence over and over. It made all the small steps worth it. More messages came. Friends shared it. Strangers found it. She didn't become a bestseller overnight. But that wasn't the point. She had turned her invisible dream into something real, something complete, something that touched people. All because she stopped waiting to be perfect and started walking one step at a time. Today, Helen still writes. She still doubts herself sometimes, but she no longer lets fear decide for her. She knows now you don't have to see the whole journey. You just have to take the next step in the right direction. Because if you keep moving forward, you'll eventually arrive. Not all at once, but piece by piece. And just like that, a story that lived in her head for years finally found its way into the world. Now, let me talk to you. Yes, the one with a dream sitting quietly inside your heart. Maybe it's been there for years. Maybe it's only just begun to grow. But I know one thing for sure. You're not stuck because you lack talent. You're not stuck because you're lazy. You're stuck because you're overwhelmed. You're thinking about everything all at once, and it's too much. You're imagining the finish line when you haven't even tied your shoes yet. You're trying to build the whole house without laying the first brick. So of course you feel frozen. Of course you hesitate. But here's the truth. You don't need to finish the whole book today. You don't need to become fluent overnight. You don't need to change your entire life this week. You only need to take one honest step forward. That's it. One line of writing, one sentence spoken aloud, 1 minute of trying, even when you're scared. You see, dreams don't die from lack of passion. They die from too much pressure. So let go of that pressure. Let go of the need to be perfect. Let go of the false idea that you need all the answers before you begin. Instead, just begin, because when you take one step, you build momentum. And when you keep showing up, even in small ways, you create change. Don't wait until the timing is right. Don't wait until your confidence is complete. Confidence isn't something you get before action. It's something you earn through action. You might not feel brave today. You might feel unsure. But that doesn't mean you're not ready. Ready doesn't mean certain. Ready means willing. Willing to try, willing to fail, willing to keep going, even when the results come slowly. So ask yourself this: can I take one small step today? And with each step, the dream will get closer. Not in a rush, not in a perfect line, but in your own time, in your own way. That's the power of direction over perfection. That's the magic of micro actions. You don't need to climb the whole mountain today. You just need to take one step up the hill. And if you keep going step by step, you'll be amazed at where you arrive. So now, take a deep breath and let's make it simple. You don't have to do everything. You don't have to be perfect. You don't have to figure out the whole journey right now. All you have to do is start. Not tomorrow, not when you feel more confident, not when life finally slows down. Start today. Start small. Start scared, but start. Because the longer you wait for the perfect time, the longer your dream waits for you. You've already carried this dream in your heart long enough. You've already imagined it, replayed it, wished for it. Now it's time to take one real step toward it. You don't need a 10-year plan. You don't need to impress anyone. You just need to move in the right direction, one small, honest step at a time. Remember Helen? She didn't finish her novel in a weekend. She didn't publish a masterpiece on the first try. She started with 200 words and let that be enough. Your 200 words are enough. Your 1-minute speech is enough. Your imperfect first try is enough. It's not about going fast. It's not about being fearless. It's about continuing. Even when the dream feels far, even when doubt whispers in your ear, even when no one claps for you yet. That's how real success is built, not from pressure, but from patience, not from perfection, but from persistence. You are not falling behind. You are not too late. As long as you're still willing to move forward, you are exactly where you need to be. So don't let fear write your story. Don't let perfectionism hold the pen. Let courage take over, even if it writes slowly. Let every step you take remind you, you are doing this, you are growing, you are becoming. And even if it takes time, even if the road is longer than you thought, you're still moving. You're still becoming stronger, more focused, more alive. One step at a time. Begin again. Pick up the pen. Speak the sentence. Take the step. Because your dream isn't waiting at the finish line. It's waiting in every step you take to get there. And one day, you'll look back and smile, not because the path was easy, but because you were brave enough to walk it anyway. Start today. Your future self is already cheering you on.